If your alternator is no longer charging, it will drain power and prevent your car from starting. Hi, I'm Barbara Terry with AutoMD. The most common failure of your alternator can be from an excessive voltage drop. Parts and tools needed. In order to inspect and replace your alternator, you will need a new alternator. You will also need a digital multimeter, a set of sockets, a ratchet, a small pry bar or screwdriver, and combination wrenches. Your own vehicle's components and parts may differ, so always refer to your vehicle's owner's manual for details. For your safety, we recommend wearing safety glasses, latex gloves, and closed-toed shoes when working on your vehicle. Before opening the hood, take the key out of the ignition. Always make sure the shocks on the hood fully support its weight. If you suspect your hood shocks are not working properly, use a hood prop tool to lift the hood securely. First, open the hood and locate your battery. Use the digital multimeter to check the battery voltage. Dead batteries usually have less than 12 volts, not enough power to start most cars. Make sure you have a fully charged or new battery to verify the alternator is bad. A new battery should read about 12.6 volts with the engine off and 13.5 to 14.5 volts with the engine running. If the battery's voltage does not increase to 13.5 to 14.5 volts while the engine is running, then you will need to replace the alternator. With an open-end wrench, disconnect the battery's negative cable. Do not allow the cable to come into contact with the negative terminal while working on the vehicle. To prevent this from happening, wrap the cable in a shop towel and pull it away from the terminal. Next, locate the alternator, usually at the front of the engine compartment. You will want to disconnect the power and ground wires on the back of the alternator, paying close attention to where each wire connects. Then, disconnect the wiring harness connector. Loosen the alternator bracket bolts and alternator adjusting bolts or alternator belt tensioner and remove the alternator drive belt. With the right size socket and ratchet, remove the alternator mounting bolts, spacer if equipped, adjusting bolt, lower pivot bolt if equipped, and then remove the alternator. Now you are ready to install the new alternator. You will want to do the exact steps in reverse order. Install the alternator mounting bolts, spacer if equipped, adjusting bolts, and lower pivot bolt if equipped. Install the alternator belt. Make sure the belt is fully seated in the groove of the pulleys and pull the alternator until the belt is tight. Tighten the alternator mounting bolts while gently moving the alternator unit to achieve proper belt tension. Reinstall the power and ground wires to the alternator and install the wiring harness connector. It is a good idea to push down in the middle of the alternator belt to check the tension. If it moves more than half an inch, it is too loose and you will need to adjust it tighter before continuing. Now that the alternator belt has been installed and adjusted, you will want to reconnect the battery cable. Start your engine and check the battery voltage to verify proper alternator charging. Finally, turn off your engine and recheck your alternator belt tension. On behalf of AutoMD, I'm Barbara Terry with how to replace your alternator.